She confessed her affair with my brother in a group chat like it was something we should celebrate, and said they deserved happiness. I replied, "Congrats," then forwarded everything to her family. Minutes later, my phone lit up with "I 29 may work as a mechanic at Murphy's Auto Repair." I've been dating Brielle, 28F, for 2 years, and things have been pretty serious. We've talked about moving in together, maybe getting engaged next year. She's always seemed like the perfect girlfriend. Sweet, religious, family-oriented. We have the same friend group from college, 8 of us who've known each other since freshman year. We have a group chat where we coordinate hangouts and catch up. My brother Knox, 32M, recently got divorced because his wife cheated on him. I felt terrible for him, so I let him crash at my apartment while he got back on his feet. He works at a warehouse and has been completely broken up about the whole thing. I've been trying to be supportive, letting him vent, making sure he eats, helping him through the worst time of his life. Brielle has been supportive too, bringing him dinner sometimes, being a good listener when he needed to talk. Last Friday night around 11 p.m., our friend group was discussing a camping trip for next weekend. Normal stuff, who's bringing what, coordinating carpools. Then out of nowhere, Brielle drops this bomb in the group chat. "Hey guys, I need to be honest about something. I've been sleeping with Knox. We've been having an affair for 2 months, and I can't keep lying to Decker anymore. I know this is complicated, but Knox and I have real feelings for each other and deserve to be happy." Just like that. No warning. No private conversation first. Nothing. She announced to our entire friend group that she'd been cheating on me with my own brother like she was sharing good news about a promotion. The group chat went completely silent. I just stared at my phone in shock. My girlfriend of 2 years and my brother, who I'd been supporting through his divorce, had been secretly fucking for 2 months, and she decided the best way to handle this was a public confession to all our friends. I called Knox immediately, straight to voicemail. I texted him, "We need to talk. Now." He responded an hour later, "We need to talk. Not like this." Here's what really got to me. Brielle didn't apologize for the betrayal. She didn't acknowledge that cheating on me with my own brother might be hurtful. She presented it like we should all be happy for them finding real love, while I was being cheated on. In my anger, I did something I'm not sure was right. I screenshotted the entire group chat conversation and sent it to her parents, her 2 brothers, and her grandmother. These are deeply religious people who think Brielle is this perfect church girl who helps with youth group and volunteers at Sunday school. They believe she's saving herself for marriage. All I wrote was, "Truth serum works." Within minutes, my phone was blowing up with calls from Brielle and her family members. I didn't answer any of them. Now my friends are split. Jace thinks I was justified. He said Brielle made this public herself by confessing her affair in our group chat, so I just shared it with people who deserve to know what kind of person she really is. But Riker thinks I went too far and should have handled this privately. Brielle showed up at my apartment at 1 a.m. crying, begging me to call her family and tell them it was photoshopped or something. I told her no and shut the door. Here's what I'm struggling with. Did I go nuclear when I should have just broken up with her quietly? Or was this a natural consequence of her deciding to publicly confess her affair with my brother? Some additional context. Brielle comes from a very strict religious family. They raised her to save herself for marriage, attend church every Sunday, and represent Christian values. She's always played the role of the perfect daughter while secretly doing whatever she wanted. Her family genuinely believes she's never even kissed a guy. I know sending those screenshots would devastate her relationship with her family. Part of me feels guilty about that. But another part of me thinks she chose to make this public, so she can deal with the public consequences. So Reddit, Aita. Should I have kept this between us and just broken up with her quietly? Or did she forfeit her right to privacy when she confessed her affair publicly to our friend group? Update 1 first. Let me address some questions from the comments. Yes, she really did confess to cheating on me in our group chat like it was happy news. No apology for the betrayal. No acknowledgement that fucking my brother might be painful for me. Nothing. She literally said they deserve to be happy, like I was supposed to be grateful my girlfriend found love with my brother. Several of you asked about Knox's reaction. He finally showed up at my apartment Sunday morning looking like hell. Apparently, after I sent those screenshots to her family, all hell broke loose on their end. Her mom called her crying, saying she couldn't believe her daughter would do something like this. Her dad called her a whore and told her she wasn't welcome home until she repented for this sin. Her two brothers texted her Bible verses about adultery. Her grandmother, who Brielle always claimed was her best friend, won't even take her calls. Knox blamed me for all of this. You didn't have to involve her family, Decker. That was cruel. She's got nowhere to go now. I asked him if he thought it was cruel when he started screwing my girlfriend 2 months ago while living in my apartment rent-free. Or when she decided to confess the affair to our entire friend group without giving me any heads up. It just happened, he said. We were both hurt and lonely. You don't understand what it's like going through a divorce, and she felt neglected because you work so much. The lack of accountability was unbelievable. According to Knox, I'm the villain here for exposing the affair that they chose to make public. Here's what really opened my eyes. I talked to our mutual friend Jace about the whole situation. He said something that stuck with me. Decker, she didn't announce this because she was being honest. She announced it because she wanted to control the narrative. She thought if she presented it as good news, everyone would just accept it and you'd look like the bitter ex if you objected. That's when it clicked. This wasn't some spontaneous confession. This was calculated. She knew her family would find out eventually. Our friend group includes people who know her siblings. So she tried to get ahead of it by making it seem normal and inevitable. The group chat has been dead since Friday. Jace and his girlfriend Mara are on my side. Riker is staying neutral but admitted he understands why I reacted the way I did. The other 3 friends are trying to stay out of it entirely. But here's where things get complicated. Through Jace, I found out that Brielle's family didn't just disown her individually. Her dad called her uncle, his brother, and told him about the situation. Now their entire extended family knows. Her cousin's wedding is next month, and apparently Brielle has been uninvited. More importantly, her younger sister was supposed to get married this spring. Her dad is so ashamed of Brielle's behavior that he called the venue and canceled the reception. He told other family members they can't celebrate anything while there's this shame in the family. So now Brielle's sister isn't speaking to her either. Her entire family has basically cut her off. Knox thinks I should call them and try to smooth things over. She's staying in some motel because she can't afford rent without roommates, and her family won't help her financially anymore. I told him that wasn't my problem. Actions have consequences. She chose to publicly announce her affair with my brother. I just shared that announcement with people who deserve to know who she really is. But I'll be honest, part of me wonders if I went too far. Her sister's wedding getting canceled isn't something I intended. I just wanted her family to see past the good Christian girl act and know the truth about her character. Am I still justified, or did I cross a line somewhere? Edit. People asking about Knox. He's moving out this week. I can't look at him the same way after he betrayed me like this. Edit 2. For those wondering about timeline, Brielle and I had been together for 2 years. Knox moved in with me after his divorce was finalized in July. They apparently started their affair in September while I was working extra hours to support us both financially. Update 2. The situation has gotten even more twisted, and I'm honestly just documenting this now because the manipulation tactics are becoming insane. Brielle sent me a 5-page email yesterday. No joke, 5 pages. It was this long sob story about how I went nuclear and destroyed her relationship with her entire family. She's having to stay in a motel because she can't afford apartment rent by herself, and her family won't help her financially. She might have to move back to her hometown, but word spreads in small towns, so she's worried about finding work. The email was full of lines like, "I know I hurt you, but did you really need to hurt my whole family?" And, "I thought you cared about me enough to handle this privately." What really got me was this part. You know my family. You know how they are. You knew exactly what would happen when you sent them those screenshots. This wasn't about honesty. This was about revenge. The thing is, she's not wrong about me knowing her family. I spent 2 years attending Sunday dinners with these people. I watched her dad cry with pride when she got baptized again as an adult. I listened to her mom talk about how blessed they were to have such a pure daughter who was saving herself for marriage. But here's what Brielle is conveniently forgetting. She's the one who chose to make this public. She announced it to 8 people without any warning or context. If she wanted privacy, she should have handled this privately. I showed the email to Jace, and he said something that really put things in perspective. She's trying to rewrite history, like she didn't voluntarily post this information in a group chat. She's acting like you hacked her phone and leaked private messages. That's exactly what she's doing. She's trying to make me the villain for sharing information that she already shared publicly. But wait, it gets worse. Knox came by to get the rest of his stuff yesterday. He's been staying with some coworker since Sunday. While he was packing, he told me something that completely changed how I see this whole situation. Look, I know you're angry, but you need to know something about Brielle. This isn't the first time she's done something like this. Turns out, according to Knox, and he heard this from Brielle herself, she pulled similar shit with her previous boyfriend. That guy had a girlfriend for 3 years, and Brielle was friends with both of them. She started comforting the guy's younger brother who was going through addiction issues, and ended up sleeping with him while maintaining her friendship with the girlfriend. She told me she learned her lesson about hiding things, Knox said. That's why she wanted to be public about us this time. So let me get this straight. Brielle has a pattern of breaking up relationships by seducing vulnerable men, and her big lesson from the last time wasn't, maybe don't destroy relationships by sleeping with taken men. It was be more public about it so people can't call you sneaky, and her big lesson from the last time wasn't, maybe don't sleep with your boyfriend's family members. It was, be more public about it so people can't call you sneaky. The manipulation is incredible. She presents her public announcement as growth and honesty, when really it was just a different strategy for the same shitty behavior. I asked Knox if he knew about her history before they started hooking up. He got defensive and said it didn't matter because that was different. How was it different, Knox? Because this time it's real feelings. Jesus Christ. She played him perfectly, found him at his most vulnerable, convinced him this was some special connection, then made the announcement in a way that forced everyone to either accept it or look like they were standing in the way of true love. I don't feel guilty anymore. Not even a little bit. Brielle destroyed her own relationship with her family by living a lie for years. I just finally gave them information they deserved to have. Her sister's wedding got canceled because their father couldn't stand the hypocrisy of celebrating family values while his daughter was publicly flaunting behavior that went against everything they believe in. That's on Brielle, not me. I keep thinking about something Mara, Jace's girlfriend, said when we talked about this yesterday. Actions have consequences. Brielle acted like she could announce this, and everyone would just accept it because she framed it positively. She gambled and lost. That's exactly right. She made a calculated move that backfired spectacularly. The really messed up part? If she had approached this differently, called me first, acknowledged how painful this would be, maybe offered to step back from the friend group for a while, I probably would have been hurt but handled it privately. But her approach was so dismissive and manipulative that it revealed everything I needed to know about her character. Knox is angry at me for ruining her life, but honestly, I think I saved him from worse. If this is her pattern, how long before she would have moved on to someone else's brother? Or cheated on Knox the same way she cheated on her previous boyfriends? Edit. Several people asked if I regret sending those screenshots. I don't. She made her choices public, and I made sure the people who needed to know were informed. Edit 2. Knox moved out yesterday. I don't think our relationship will ever recover, but I'm honestly okay with that. Final update: this will probably be my last update on this situation. A lot has happened in the past 2 weeks, and I wanted to close this out properly since so many of you have been following along. First, thank you to everyone who helped me see this situation clearly. Your comments made me realize I wasn't crazy for being angry about how Brielle handled this whole thing. The biggest development. I found out through our mutual friends that this situation with me and Knox wasn't just similar to what she did before. It's part of an actual pattern. Jace did some digging. Apparently he never trusted Brielle, and this motivated him to reach out to some old contacts. Brielle's previous relationship wasn't with some random guy. It was with someone from her hometown who she dated for 3 years. She broke up with him after getting involved with his younger brother, who was struggling with addiction issues at the time. Here's the really disturbing part. According to Jace's source, she didn't just cheat with the brother. She actively encouraged him to choose her over his recovery program. When his family tried to intervene, she convinced him they were being controlling and unsupportive. The guy ended up relapsing and cutting contact with his family for over a year. So this isn't just about Brielle liking drama or having poor boundaries. She specifically targets vulnerable men, recently divorced, Knox, struggling with addiction, previous boyfriend's brother, probably others we don't know about. She finds their weak points and exploits them. The public announcement to our friend group wasn't honesty or growth. It was her testing a new control strategy. Instead of hiding and lying, she tried announcing it proudly to see if she could make everyone accept it as normal. When I realized this, I stopped feeling any guilt about involving her family. They deserved to know what kind of person they were supporting and making excuses for. As for the fallout, Brielle ended up moving back to her hometown, but not because of work issues like she claimed. Jace found out through his contact that word of what happened spread quickly there too. Her previous boyfriend's family still lives there, and they made sure people knew about her pattern of behavior. Her sister's wedding got rescheduled for this summer, but Brielle is still not invited. From what I understand, her sister blamed her for months of additional stress and expense. Knox finally came by last week to return my apartment key. He looked terrible and admitted that Brielle had already started pulling away from him before she moved. Apparently, once the excitement of the drama died down and she realized there would be real consequences, she lost interest pretty quickly. She told me she needed space to figure things out, Knox said. But I think she just got bored once there wasn't anything left to manipulate. He asked if we could work on rebuilding our relationship. Honestly, I don't know. It's not just that he slept with my ex, it's that he prioritized his dick over our family bond, then tried to make me feel guilty for exposing behavior they chose to make public. Trust is hard to rebuild when someone shows you they'll betray you for someone who's using them. The friend group has basically split permanently. Jace, Mara, and I are closer than ever. Riker has stayed neutral but clearly feels uncomfortable about the whole situation. The other friends have mostly drifted away from all the drama. Honestly, I'm okay with that. I'd rather have a smaller circle of people who have actual integrity than a big group that's willing to overlook manipulation and betrayal for the sake of keeping peace. As for me, I'm doing really well. Work is going great. I got promoted to head mechanic at Murphy's. I moved to a better apartment closer to downtown. I've been focusing on my hobbies and spending time with friends who actually have my back. Most importantly, I learned something valuable about boundaries and manipulation. When someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them the first time. Don't make excuses for them. Don't try to see their perspective. Don't let guilt override your own sense of reality. Brielle showed me exactly who she was when she announced her affair with my brother like it was good news. Everything that happened after that was just the natural consequence of her choices. I'm not responsible for managing other people's reactions to truth they needed to hear. I'm not responsible for protecting manipulative people from the results of their own behavior. And I'm definitely not responsible for keeping secrets that benefit people who have betrayed me. To anyone dealing with something similar, you don't owe loyalty to people who don't show you any. You don't owe privacy to people who make your business public. And you definitely don't owe protection to people who are actively harming you. The kid who would have kept quiet and taken this betrayal to avoid causing drama is gone. What's left is someone who knows that sometimes the right thing to do is the thing that makes other people uncomfortable. And I'm completely at peace with that. Edit. People asking about Knox. I saw him at a family dinner last month. We were civil but didn't really talk. Maybe someday we'll rebuild something, but it won't be the same. Edit 2. Thanks again to everyone who helped me see this situation clearly. Sometimes you need outside perspective to realize you're not crazy. This is my final update. Time to close this chapter and focus on building something better.